So I'm just starting with a random example. This theory I have is something that's at 400,000, which the banks are FDIC insured, times a quarter, that's 100,000. So it's a trickling effect. So it goes from 400,000 down to 100,000, down to 25,000. And if it's not that way, then if you do it backwards and say what's higher than 400,000, 400,000 times a quarter, or actually, you have to multiply it by 25. Why the heck you keep doing that? There you go, by 25. That's not how I did it. I did it a different way earlier. I think it was like, oh, it's a quarter. What's a quarter of, what's 400,000 a quarter of is what I mean. So you do 400,000, that's one quarter, plus 400,000. You just multiply by 4, really. Times 4. It says plus. Dang, I'm messing up bad. There we go. So that's 1.6. And then 1.6 times 4 is 6.4. And then 6.4 is 25. So basically what I was getting at is I did these numbers already in my head while I was at work, and I came out here to record it so I wouldn't forget because I only get like an hour on and off. So I'm on break right now. And as you can see, I'm sitting in my car. I just came back out here so I could figure that out. But yeah, what I'm thinking is, okay, so by the time you evaluate these numbers, FDIC insured banks are 400,000. Whatever can oversee a FDIC bank has to be higher than it in value. So it has to be a person that has accumulation of $1.6 million. Then the person that oversees them is the person who holds the 6.4 million. And then the person over top of them is the person with 25 million. So I think that the person with 25 million has more control than over the world than 25% of the world. And then the person with 6 million has control over 6% of the world. And that person with 1 million has control over 1%. And then 400,000, that's insuring the people. That's what the banks do. So they don't have control over anybody but themselves, people who have bank accounts. And then from 400,000 down to 100,000, they have control over their finances. And then from 100,000 to 25,000, they have control over their food, like what they eat and stuff like that. So those are the sections for it. And if you think about it, 400,000 would be the average person, because not everybody has $25 million or 6 million or 1 million. There's more people that aren't millionaires than that are. So that's why you can start at 400,000. FDIC insured makes everybody equal because you can share in a bank, get credit and stuff like that. So the 400,000 be the starting point. Then under 400,000, we'll go to 100,000. So if you think about, like, in scripture ways, back in the day, Old Testament people lived over 400 years, and in New Testament people live up to 120. So that's like saying 400,000 is old, 100,000 is new, and 25,000 is our current form of living. So you think about people going to jail, people trying to live everyday life. You know, the average lifespan could be 25. So even the percentage is 25%. Like I said, it was 25% of 400,000, 100,000. 25% of 100,000, 25,000. What's the highest number I just went to? 25 million. And then it goes from 25 million down to 6.4 million. After that's unmultiplied. And then 6.4 million down to 1.6 million. All multiplying by 25%. So what I'm saying is, I think that the 400,000 that the banks use leverage with 25%. That 25% they leveraging with is the home. That's a come when we had a housing collapse, the banks collapsed too. So they use $100,000 home to hedge against whoever has 400,000, which are usually the lawyers, the bankers. They usually hedge against them with that. And the lawyers and bankers hedge against the people who are millionaires by their health, their food, their eating habits, and stuff like that. And then those people with that 1.6 hedge against the people with the 6.4 because they don't do what they do. They just give the money to the doctors and the lawyers, basically. They're the school educators, are the ones who are passing down knowledge, and then the people in the school just study their health evaluation to see if they're healthy enough to continue to teach. And then the people with 6.4 million, those are like the owners of schools, are the owners of large companies that institutionalize people. And then they hedge against people with 25 million by institutionalizing people with life of 25 years. You see what I'm saying? Then the people who have 25 million hedge against the people who don't have 25 million by not giving nobody life at all, just going out living their own life. And then that's why I was saying, so it's the number 25, it's the origin of things. If Jesus is stated to have died at 33, then 8 plus 25 is 33. So if you think about it, it was like 400 years and above for the Old Testament you could live, 120 for the New Testament, and 33 for the current life. 25 because Jesus died at 33, 25 for our current life, and 8 years for those who, maybe are already gone or something like that. The 8-year period, it's like an 8-year period. But I'll figure all that out later because I'm about to go back to work. There's a whole bunch of stuff I can talk about, but that's just all I'm saying.